The left has been infected by, and infected is the correct term, by this new ideology called postmodernism, which believes that everything is made up. Everything is a social construct, like gender. That's why they can let guys play on girls' teams, even though that is obviously just sick in so many ways and a perversion of everything we understand about reality, which is exactly what that's the flaw in postmodernism. Part of it is true. Half of it makes sense. That everything, socially, a lot of things are social constructs. But what they don't do, of course, is they say, well, gender could just be anything, but they don't talk about things like slavery. Like, okay, slavery, we all say that's bad, but that's just a social construct. You could say that that's a way to, advance yourself over this whole idea of you have to be nice to everyone. That's a social construct. Mostly came from religion. You don't have to be nice to everyone. You can just go get everything for yourself and you might end up with more. That whole thing, nice guys finish last. And the whole thing like slavery, like what? We enslaved animals forever to do and so this is that's part of the world. And then they come up with this idea, most of the left now is like PETA and we shouldn't eat animals. It's like, they're here for us to eat. That's just your idea. That's just your social construct. It doesn't have, and it's true that we created these social constructs like, you can't murder people because you can't live in a society with other people if you're worried all the time that someone else can just murder you. And so but they're made out of realities. They're made out of boys should not play on girls' sports teams because they're physically too strong and it makes an unfair competition. Plus, the locker room thing and all that is just gross. And all that is not a social construct. That is a reality. And we need to separate what is a social construct. All of these things that we believe, we can start questioning them. Are all the races equal? We don't know. We don't know. We haven't looked into that. Maybe they're not. That's just a social construct. And there are real effects that cultures have on each other when, let's look at the Jews in Germany. Well, when you have two different cultures in proximity, there have always been problems. And when you have a minority culture in a majority, the genocide it has happened consistently. So that is a thing that is real. That's not a social construct. That seems to be an element of the universe. And so we can start looking at what is a social construct, why do we create them, what are they for, how do they make society work, what are the problems with them, and what are realities that you have to face, because these leftist postmodernists are doing away with the realities, and reality is still there, and it's going to, all these young kids, I'm old, they're not going to have a world if this keeps up.